The Ring of Alien-dividuality by Brooke Hoffler. Look up there, look up high. Yeah, real high in the sky. It's a UFO, can't you see? Full of alien-dividuality. 18-year-old American pop star Sky Monroe belted out as she sang her newest song, Alien-dividuality, out to her screaming fans. As the last guitar note pierced through the warm, clear August air, she flipped her hair and flashed her huge, bright white smile and shot her glow-stick-covered arm into the air. It was her best performance yet, captured at the heart of Central Park in New York City in 2012. She glanced up at her particular ring as she did so. The ring was green and had an alien-like face on it. But Sky didn't believe in aliens. She had found it when she was little, playing in Central Park. But that was before she was discovered and sent into the magical world of famous people. Just as she looked back into her crowd of adoring fans, the ring glowed bright green. Oddly, no one saw it, not even Sky. Boom! The UFO smashed into an asteroid, hurling sleek metallic spaceship parts everywhere. A small green alien ring went soaring, slowly drifting towards Earth. A small infant aboard the ship wailed in terror as she was safely placed into a small capsule and sent adrift among the stars toward Earth. The last memory she would ever slightly be able to grasp from somewhere other than Earth was the caring and kind motherly face of her alien nanny. The alien's glowing green necklace the child loved to play with suddenly turned gray and lifeless. The key to it was seemingly lost forever. It was the year 1994. Move! Sky shrieked as she shoved the hotel's doorman aside, texting expertly to her best friend Sierra, iPhone in hand. She briskly stomped into the delicate lobby, pushing tourists and hurrying into the elevator. As it opened, she jammed her green nail into the button marked Private Penthouse and looked out into the city through the glass walls. Skyscrapers winked back at her as she rose through the twinkling lights, giant announcement screens, and above the crowd at Times Square lining up for the Rockets show at Rockefeller Center. But none of this interested her as she gazed dreamily into the black sky. The stars twinkled, and she smiled to herself, cherishing the moment. But her fantasy was soon over as a buzzing sound filled the elevator. She snorted as she peered at the phone, showing Sierra riding an obese zebra. She rolled her eyes and looked out at the sky again, dropping her iPhone with a clatter. Something out there had just twinkled above her blonde hair, and it wasn't a star. She bent to pick up her phone, but realized her ring was glowing bright green. She frantically picked up her cell, glanced at the sky, her green eyes growing huge. A huge UFO was hurtling straight toward her, and a lumpy green head stared back at her, mouth open. She faintly caught a glimpse of the glowing green necklace as her phone dropped again and glass shattered around her. Then everything went black. Beep, beep. Monitors beeped loudly around her, jolting her out of a deep sleep. She squinted her eyes from the huge lights and screamed, ducking her head from under her pillow. She had just seen the ugliest face ever. She's fine and just woke up, the ugly nurse grumbled into her crackling radio. She's got some scratches on her face. Sky gingerly touched her cheeks. What scratches? She peered up at the lady. It's Botox gone wrong, the nurse smirked. As she left the room, Sky sat up and caught herself in a full-length mirror on the wall and whimpered at her reflection. She looked horrible. There were huge bags under her bloodshot eyes, bandages covering her body, and scars on her face. She dropped her head back onto her pillow as the questions in her mind came in rapid-fire mode. Why was she here? Was last night a dream or not? What was going to happen to her? Why was the ring still on her finger? When did she... Sky! Sierra gushed as her blue eyes flicking to the bed. She gasped, then quickly regained control and pursed her lips. She strolled over and asked, How are you? Good. What happened? You just got hit in the face with some glass. Sierra's iPhone buzzed, and she breezily walked out the door, giving a little wave. Sky closed her eyes and went to sleep. Later on that night, Sky awoke, someone poking her. She lazily opened her eyes and attempted to scream, but a bony hand covered her mouth. The same lumpy head stared back at her. Shh! Do you remember me? It asked hoarsely. Sky vigorously shook her head, and it frowned, then poked the musty air twice. Suddenly, a holographic screen came to life, dividing them. Sky's jaw dropped to the ground. "Watch this," it whispered, poking the screen again, and a movie started. It showed a UFO blowing up in space and an alien baby placing a small rocket headed towards Earth. But it also showed a mysterious green necklace the alien was wearing, and the key, similar to a ring, floating away. "Do you remember that?" asked the alien. She stared at the ring, and then back at the still screen. "Is that ring mine?" The alien opened her left hand, revealing the necklace. "You were that baby, and you have that ring, and I need that ring back." "What? Why?" The alien drew a breath. "I was that alien that put you in that rocket. When our ship landed on Earth, you somehow crawled into our UFO, and I took care of you, dear. This necklace holds the fate of us and all that has been lost and yet discovered. I need that ring back." "No!" Sky answered fiercely. She jumped out of bed and tore down the hall, realizing for the first time that she was still wearing her clothes from last night. She bolted through the doors, the nurse and paparazzi following her, yelling her name. She floated upward until her feet hit solid ground. She looked around and took in all the bright twinkling lights. The alien walked over her. "Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Kia," it said with a genuine smile. "Like the car?" Kia's forehead wrinkled in confusion. Then she glanced at her ring. "So, where are we going?" Sky asked. Kia shrugged, then looked up at the sky suggestively. Sky shook her head. "There's no way she's going into space." She took a deep breath, then thought about her childhood. She remembered going to the park and drawing when she was 12. She could just sit there on her favorite rock and draw pictures of trees or people. She had wanted to be an artist when she was younger. She remembered finding the ring one day while drawing. She had been sketching some trees, and something had twinkled in the mulch. She turned to Kia and slowly took a deep breath, she pulling the ring off her finger. "Here, you can have it." Kia blinked and hesitantly reached for it. They both took a deep breath as Kia inserted the ring into the necklace with trembling hands. Suddenly, a white light blared inside the UFO, and frightened, Sky called out Kia's name, but there was no answer. Everything was white, except for when everything turned black. "Sky, wake up!" Sky snapped open her eyes and stared straight at Sierra, perched on the foot of her bed. "I have the best plans for today," Sierra gushed as she pulled Sky into a huge walk-in closet in her bathroom. "With Kia, it's going to be great." "Wait, what is that about Kia?" Sky asked, fastening a bracelet. Sierra blinked. "She owns this new salon downtown. Don't you like Kia?" "No, just asking." They strutted into the spa, and Sky stopped as she saw the lady behind the counter. It was Kia in human form. Kia winked. Kia briskly walked toward them. She pressed something into Sky's hand. Sky looked down at her hand and saw the necklace with a ring in it and a message scrawled onto it. Sky briskly walked toward them. She pressed something into Sky's hand. Sky looked down at her hand and saw the necklace with the ring in it and the handwritten message scrawled on it. "To my daughter, Sky, expect the unexpected. Love, Kia." Sky slipped the necklace into her jeans. She smiled and thought of Kia's message. It was true. She hadn't expected any of this. Expect the unexpected. That was some real alien individuality.